Amara Johnson had exactly $6 left in her pocket, and she was standing in front of a market stall counting vegetables she could not afford to buy. It was a Tuesday morning like any other, except this one felt heavier, because the letter in her bag said her landlord would change the locks by Friday if she didn't find the rest of the rent. She had not slept properly in 4 days. Her hands trembled, not from the cold, but from the quiet, exhausting fear of a woman who had run out of options and was too proud to ask anyone for help. She picked up a single tomato, turned it over in her palm, and set it back down. $6 would not stretch far enough for both food and hope. What Amara did not know, standing there in her worn denim jacket with her shoulders pulled in tight against the world, was that a man across the market square had been watching her for the last several minutes, and what he saw in her face would change the course of both their lives before the sun went down. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in stories where ordinary people are seen when they feel most invisible, take a moment right now to like this video, drop a comment below, share it with someone who needs a little hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner so you never miss a story like this one. Now, let's continue. His name was Marcus Whitfield, and he was not supposed to be at that market at all. His driver had taken a wrong turn, his morning meeting had been cancelled, and out of restlessness more than intention, he had stepped out to walk among the stalls, something he had not done in years. Marcus had built an empire from nothing, but somewhere between the boardrooms and the headlines, he had lost the small, human moments that once grounded him. He noticed Amara not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because of the particular way she stood, the way someone stands when they are trying very hard to look like they are fine. He had worn that same expression once, a lifetime ago, before any of the money existed. He watched her set down the tomato. He watched the vendor glance at her with the practiced indifference of someone who had seen 100 customers do the same thing that week. And he watched Amara turn to leave empty-handed, her jaw tight, her eyes fixed on the ground so no one would see what was written on her face. Marcus followed her, not to intrude, but because something in him refused to let the moment pass unanswered. He caught up to her near the edge of the market and asked, gently, if she was all right. Amara straightened immediately, the way people do when they've spent years protecting themselves from pity, and told him she was fine, thank you, and please excuse her. But Marcus did not walk away. Instead, he asked her name, and when she hesitated before answering, he simply waited, patient, unhurried, until she finally said it. Amara. He learned, in the conversation that followed, more than she meant to tell him. That she worked 2 jobs and still could not cover her rent. That her mother had raised her alone and had passed 2 years earlier, leaving Amara with nothing but grief and a stubborn will to survive without ever becoming a burden to anyone. That she came to this market every week not because she could always afford it, but because walking among the stalls, smelling the fruit and the fresh bread, reminded her that the world still had color in it, even on days when her own life felt gray. She told him this without asking for sympathy, without expecting anything, simply because his questions were kind and his eyes did not look away. Marcus said very little in return. He thanked her for her honesty, told her to take care of herself, and walked away. Amara assumed that was the end of it, one more stranger passing through her difficult week. She had no way of knowing that Marcus spent the rest of that afternoon making calls, moving numbers, and speaking with the market's owner, a tired man ready to sell after years of struggling against rising costs and shrinking profits. By the following morning, the market belonged to Marcus Whitfield. But he did not do it for headlines, and he made sure his name stayed far from the paperwork. He restructured the debt the vendors carried. He lowered the prices on essentials, produce, bread, milk, the things families like Amara's needed most, so the market itself would once again serve the people who depended on it rather than squeeze them dry. And quietly, without a single public announcement, he arranged for Amara to be offered a position managing the very stalls she used to walk past with $6 and a heavy heart, a job with real wages, real stability, and a future she had almost stopped believing was possible. When Amara received the call about the position, she nearly refused it, certain there was some mistake, certain the world did not simply hand good things to women like her without a catch. But there was no catch. There was only a market that suddenly felt more alive, prices that suddenly made sense, and a chance to finally breathe. It took her weeks to learn who was truly behind it all, and when she finally understood, she did not see a billionaire looking for gratitude. She saw the stranger who had asked her name when everyone else had looked away. Their paths crossed many times after that, first through the market, then through conversations that grew longer, then through an understanding neither of them expected to find in a produce stall on an ordinary Tuesday. Marcus had spent years surrounded by people who wanted something from him. Amara wanted nothing at all, and that, more than anything, was what drew him back to her, again and again, until what began as one small act of kindness slowly became something neither of them had words for yet, but both of them felt. Amara Johnson never forgot where she came from, and she never let go of the humility that carried her through her hardest days. And Marcus Whitfield, a man who could buy almost anything, learned that the thing he valued most was something money could never fully purchase, the simple, quiet dignity of being truly seen. If this story touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you that kindness still exists in a world that often feels cold, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who needs to believe in second chances today. And before we go, we'd love to hear from you. If you were in Amara's position, or if you've ever been the stranger who chose to stop and truly see someone struggling, tell us in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. Kindness Corner will be back soon with another story of hope, healing, and the quiet power of human connection. Until then, take care of yourself, and take care of each other.